Hey everybody, this is the Detroit Pistons 10-game review, edition 1. Now, 10 games into the season, the Pistons are 4-6. By comparison, I don't believe the Pistons got their 4th win last year until sometime in January. So there's already noticeable improvement right off the bat. I think the biggest thing to focus on, though, is been J.B. Bickerstaff. Now, I think J.B. Bickerstaff has been an absolute breath of fresh air, both on and off the court. I think he shows an openness and a transparency that just wasn't consistently there when Monty Williams was there. I also love that he seems to have belief in some of these younger players, especially Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey is somebody who I was excited with when they drafted him, showed some promise that first year without Cade Cunningham, and then last year it just seemed like Monty Williams didn't have any belief or faith in him, and he kind of disappeared. And now this year I'm starting to see that spark that I wanted to see from him, and I think him and Cade Cunningham have the potential to be one of the better young backcourts in all of the NBA. I think J.B. Bickerstaff coaches with the bigger picture in mind. I think he understands the proper balance between gaining experience and playing through mistakes without getting outside of what winning basketball is all about. I think he's creating a healthy culture, and I think he understands the way to get there sometimes is through those mistakes to gain the necessary experience. I think he also shows great passion and energy on the sideline. It seems like he knows when to argue and lobby with the referees, and is willing to get a tech as long as it's in the right time to kind of show or send a message to the squad at the right time. The biggest issues that I've noticed with the Pistons thus far this year are lots of turnovers. I mean, it seems like we're up around 20, if not over 20 turnovers every single game. And sometimes we have a hard time finishing out games. Now, we've played some tough teams in this stretch. I think our first 4 games were all against people who were in the playoffs last season. But other than one of those games, we've been right in every single one of those games with an opportunity to win. And that's some of the thing that I've noticed was, you know, they're so young, they have such a losing culture that they don't know how to win games. But what I've started to notice is playing through this is exactly what they need to start hopefully developing that. You know, I was super disappointed in the end of the Charlotte game, which I thought was a game that we needed to win. And to get that stop right there at the end and then not box out and let them get the put back as time expired was a devastating loss. I was pretty worked up about that one. And so I wanted to see how they snap back in their next game. And in their next game, it was, you know, they had control throughout the whole game. And it got to the point where we allowed them to creep back and actually allowed Atlanta to take the lead with 12 seconds to go in the game, their first lead of the whole game. Only for Cade Cunningham to come and make a very, very difficult shot. And then for Cade Cunningham to come through and get the block at the end of the game. So they fought back in that game, and they actually learned how to win. So I love what I'm seeing. Like I said, Bickerstaff hasn't been perfect, but by all accounts, I think he's exactly what this team needed. The trajectory of the team is changing, and I think the next 10 games will go a long way into showing that development. Definitely some winnable games in there. If we can end the first 20 games over 500, that would be an amazing step, and dare I say, maybe knocking on the door of the playoffs. But we'll see. But so far, I've liked what I've seen. Definitely marked improvements over the last 2 years, and I'm anxious to see where we go on from here. But I'm all welcome for J.B. Bickerstaff and the staff, and I like what they're doing. So we'll do this again in another 10 games, see where we're at. Hopefully I still have that same positivity and energy. Until next time, go Pistons.